SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Middays with Gerard Gibert is on the air. Middays with Gerard Gibert is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi.
Get ready to go beyond the headlines and join a meaningful conversation with people from around the state. You're listening to Middays with Gerard Gibert here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Nothing like starting the day with technical problems. I don't know why. I had that connected. I don't know what happened. It's connected now, though. Good morning and welcome to Middays in the Element Well Studios. We have 8 billion things going on this morning. The most important one is, Rhino, what day is it?
Friday, y'all.
That's what I thought. I knew I was in a good mood for some reason. Rhino in the booth, how you doing this morning, man?
Oh, not too bad. We've made it to the end of the work week.
Yes, and big day. And I say that because, several reasons. Number one, we got some great folks that we're going to be talking to during the show. Jimmie Rodgers Foundation, talking to them about what they've got going on. Our very own lovely and talented Kelly Bennett will be joining us next hour, and we'll be talking to Jay Lake out at Carter's Jewelers throughout the day as well. In the meantime, probably need to lead with this one. I don't know if you heard about this. Mississippi State pushed their exams that were scheduled for today to tomorrow because of the Canvas hacking. We keep learning this lesson. It's a group called Shiny Hunters that hacked it and put up a ransom message, say, pay us or we're going to mess up the world. We keep failing to lose the lesson, to not learn the lesson, the old lesson of not putting all your eggs in one basket. We keep having that problem. And I don't know what we're going to be able to do to get away from that, because AI is just making it worse as we transition over to, everything being in one basket. All of the lesson plans, all of the homework, all of the grades, all of the everything. Everybody, everywhere is going to store it in one place. Well, that went well. We still have to have backups, I think. Don't you think so, Rhino?
Yeah, it's kind of boilerplate policies and procedures.
Yeah. And we here lately especially, we tend to be getting in such a hurry and having such a rush to get on board the latest, greatest advancement that we completely forget that you have to have a backup plan. You have to have a plan B. And they had to scramble state. They pushed it back one day. Now, I feel sorry for whichever students have a work day tomorrow. They have a job. They're supposed to be at work. Well, if they've also got an exam today, no, there's going to be conflicts. So it's a giant mess. Let's make sure, though, we blame the people that should be blamed, and that's the hackers. Jerks. And they're not done. They'll do this again. And if you think, it's Canvas, I'm not in college, it doesn't affect me, wait till they, go after your bank or your accounting firm or, whoever. You're not as safe as you think you are. That's the way it works. Got to talk about the tornadoes later on. I do have to check, Rhino. You don't have any hantavirus symptoms, do you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, we're good. You and I both made it through the start of COVID without any symptoms. Here's the thing. Hantavirus, not the same thing. Not the same kind of thing at all. The only way that you can catch, this is the Andes strain of hantavirus, the only way you can catch it from another human is through what the immunology director at the World Health Organization called intimate contact. Now, that doesn't mean what you think it means. I mean, I guess it could mean that too, but she gave specific examples like, sharing utensils, sleeping in the same bed together, even sharing a room. You got to be close for an extended period to get it. You're not going to get it because you passed 5 feet from somebody in the store. But I see the fearmongers already hard at work out there in today's society, desperate to get everybody worked up as usual. Just another day. All right, we've got a lot of stuff. Okay. I'm getting so many spam texts and calls this week, Rhino. Has yours went up any?
I've gotten a handful, but thankfully, knock on wood, I have managed to keep my number out of all the data brokers' databases.
Now, mine somehow made it into somebody's because I was sitting here talking about all of that, and I was getting distracted because my phone was going off every 10 seconds, it felt like. Okay. Got all that to talk about. We have to talk about redistricting. There's a lot going on there today. A lot. The governor in Tennessee signed the redistricting bill passed by their House and Senate. South Carolina is holding hearings on it today. The Virginia Supreme Court has come back and ruled in their redistricting case. All of that's happened in the last hour. Well, the last 2 anyway. Which leads us right back to good old Mississippi. I'm starting to hear more people talk about the possibility of redistricting here. And I still don't think it's going to happen in the special session. It might. It could. Depends on how many people voice an appetite to do it, I think. If you got 2 or 3 or 4, we'll worry about it, next year. You start getting enough people calling for it, and dare I say the right people calling for it, and it could still potentially happen. I personally will be surprised if it does, but we do have a special session. What is it, 21st, I think, right?
20th, I think.
20th. I was close. In a couple of weeks, there, I know that's accurate. In a couple of weeks, we've got a redistricting thing for the judicial districts, the Supreme Court judicial districts in Mississippi, to redistrict those. There's a lot of call to expand it. And maybe not. We'll wait and see. So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff we got to get into here. As I said, at the bottom of the hour, we have Alana Broughton, the executive director of the Jimmie Rodgers Foundation, is going to be joining us. Going to talk. It's always a good time to talk about the Jimmie Rodgers Foundation. Always. They do great stuff. They do great work. Nothing but good things to say about them. You'll find out at the bottom of the hour. And don't forget as well, CPR Fest is happening Saturday at the Coast Coliseum. Stained is going to be there. It's going to be a good show. Stained will be there. I'm trying to remember who else. It's like an all-star lineup. There's like 5 acts that I want to see. You can go to Ticketmaster.com to grab your tickets. Down at the Coast Coliseum. I understand, I think I saw a notice where they moved most, if not everything, inside the Coliseum building because of the weather.
Yeah, they're expecting some rainy weather, so they just went ahead and pulled the trigger and moved it inside.
I think we're all expecting rainy weather, aren't we? For pretty much the entire weekend.
At one point or another, yeah.
We are just your little ray of sunshine today. You know, that's my nickname for Rebecca. We need her in here. We need a ray of sunshine this week. I call her SuperTalk's little ray of sunshine. You got to admit, it's appropriate. It fits. She walks in the room and you smile, and if you don't, she'll pick up something heavy and drop it on your foot. Just getting started. I'm going to try to get settled in here. Chaos everywhere. We will continue in the Element Wealth studios here on Middays. Let's talk about some redistricting when we come back. Keep it here.
Mama here.
This segment of Middays with Gerard Gibert is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
Bring it on! Middays with Gerard Gibert.
It is on
SuperTalk, Mississippi.
That's a way to start the day right there. I like it. Welcome back to Element Wealth Studios, Middays. Me, Rhino, and Big Bad Leroy Brown taking you through this part of your day. And let's talk about some redistricting things, because that's one of the big topics going on right now, including here in Mississippi with the special session coming up, and discussion about whether or not it could be expanded to include the congressional districts. Here are the developments in the last 24 hours regarding redistricting around the country. Yesterday, Tennessee passed, both the House and Senate passed their redistricting bill, splitting Memphis in two, basically, was the result. And then the governor immediately signed it, like within 15 minutes. Signed it into law. It was a done deal. The NAACP has filed a petition asking the governor to rescind it, not do it. Yeah, the ink's not dry where he signed it, so I'm not really sure there's going to be much success there. The representative, Democratic representative, Antonio Parkinson, has called for Memphis to secede from Tennessee. It's not the first time he's called for that. He started that back in late 2018. But this time, because of this, he wanted to just get Memphis. How would that work? Memphis is completely surrounded by Tennessee. How would that work? If
maybe Arkansas wants them.
I mean, are we going to get the world's biggest backhoe and just scoop Memphis up and put it somewhere else? We're going to build a bridge? Is Elon going to come dig a tunnel? How's that going to work? Makes no sense. The Tennessee redistricting. Here is the best part. The representative that represents the district, the previous district, the one they just redistricted, Steve Cohen, a Democrat, a white male Democrat. While he's been there for almost 20 years. About 10 terms, 9 terms, I think it is. During that time, 5 times the Republican nominee was a black woman, and all 5 times the Democrats voted against her. So we might need to ease off of the pressure we have on the pedal about this being a racial thing. Otherwise, I mean, that would just make sense to me right now.
Well, not a whole lot of stuff makes sense when it comes to the wild world of politics.
That is a very good point. The redistricting that they did in Virginia, the ridiculous redistricting, went from 6 Democratic and 4 Republican seats to 10 Democrat. I think it was 6 and 4, wasn't it? Yeah. They redistricted it to where there would only be 1 Republican seat. Now, they put this out on the ballot, called a special election last month. The citizenry voted. They acted like it was a mandate from the people. I think yes got 52-point-something%. Not exactly a crushing landslide victory for it. But they said, hey, good enough, we won. And went right on their way, passed it through. Well, the Virginia Supreme Court this morning has said, no, you didn't touch second base. It doesn't work that way by the Virginia Constitution. You didn't follow all the proper procedural steps, and therefore this is null and void. So they went through all of that and proclaimed their big victory and got nothing. It for now is going to stay exactly like it was. Currently, the House Judiciary Committee in the South Carolina State House is holding a meeting on their redistricting plans. We're starting to see some momentum on this idea, Rhino, and the last map I saw right now, not only have Republicans wiped out any gains that the Democrats had made through redistricting, they've gained some ground. It's even better for Republicans now. But wasn't that always going to be the outcome? Because the Democrats have been overly gerrymandering everything about themselves in every state that they control for decades. They had nothing left.
Yeah, they pretty much gerrymandered to the point of absurdity and then some, so they didn't have a whole lot of wiggle room.
Yeah, I mean, whereas Republicans have been trying to do it the right way, do the right thing. This just illustrates to me we have 2 groups of people. I mean, it's obvious, but we have 2 groups of people. The ones who want to do the right thing the right way and treat everyone as Mississippians or everyone as an American. Just everybody on the same playing field. And then there are those that are desperate to make sure we keep trying to judge everybody by what kind of tan they've got. It's sad. Because I remember, I saw a post and it made me start thinking about it. I remember back in the 80s, especially the late 80s and the 90s. It was a different world almost at that point. Because it wasn't the same atmosphere as far as the tensions went, as far as the drama went, and as far as the desperate need to continue focusing on race as the most important part about someone. How little does someone think of you if they think the color of your skin is the most important thing about you? How little respect do they have for you and who you are and your abilities and your talents and what you can do? And no, none of that matters until we get past that first one. No. We have got to get back to getting away from that way of thinking, which is kind of what the redistricting to me is doing. The ones who scream fairness and equality, well, functionally, to me, going by what they do, not what they say, that's the last thing they want. And we both know why, Rhino. We all know why.
I do find it funny that they've had a particular turn of phrase that they've loved to use during the entirety of the woke era. And it came from an author, Janine Capo Crusette, in her book, My Time Among the Whites, Notes from an Unfinished Education. And I quote, "Losing privilege can feel a lot like inequality," end quote.
Yeah, and the redistricting is going to lead to a loss of privilege, because if the Democrats don't have control in the House and control in the Senate, and, you know, somebody who escaped from a senior care facility in the White House, they can't get any of the things they want. It's all about power, and most especially, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're trying to figure out what's going on, another spam caller, by the way, if you're trying to figure out the local lemonade stand, anything, a garage sale, whatever, follow the money. Why is it being done? Who's doing it? How are they doing it? You follow the money and you get those answers just about every time. We've been following the money for a while. We know how that's worked. Have you noticed we haven't seen a protest in quite a while where there were pre-delivered pallets of bricks sitting around on the ground ever since we cut off USAID? Did you notice that? We went for a while every time there was a big protest plan because we're going to show them. There were pre-positioned pallets of bricks just sitting around because, you know, most people aren't going to bring their own brick to throw through a window or at law enforcement or whatever. Also, I hope you noticed the only big event recently that we haven't had a Stop the Kings protest was when the King was here. Seems like that would be the time to trot that out, right? It's all a show. All of it is a show. When we come back here in the Element, well, yeah, I'm worked up. It'll get worse, trust me. Here in the Element Well studios, up next, we're going to have a nice time instead. Alana Broughton, Executive Director of the Jimmie Rodgers Foundation, joins us here on Middays. Keep it here.
From the Seabrook.com.
You're listening to Middays with Gerard here on SuperTalk, Mississippi.
To a home in that wonderful place. When I reach my home in that city, shall I find you waiting up there with the saints who have gone on before?
Got to get your sway on when that starts playing, I'm telling you. Welcome back, Middays in the Element Wealth Studios. Dave Hughes here. And joining us now, she's busy. You can tell just by where she is, the Executive Director of the Jimmie Rodgers Foundation, Alana Broughton. How you doing this morning?
Great. How are you this morning?
Doing fine. So what's going on? Are you? Why don't you have an umbrella? Is another question.
Well, we've been praying for it not to rain. So I'm just out here living by faith.
You're out there doing the anti-rain dance, is what you're doing.
Exactly, backwards.
You've got a lot of stuff going on, as always, at the museum, at the facility, all over the place, actually. But we want to get in. We want to make sure we talk about the music festival coming up. It's the 72nd annual, right?
73rd.
73rd. Wow. And that makes it the oldest music festival in America, right?
It sure does.
Well, let me ask you, what are the plans? What are we looking at this year for the festival? How's that going to go?
Okay, we kicked it off last night at the Max with Bluegrass. Talk alarms, if I didn't forget you. I'm living by alarms right now. Sorry about that.
I thought you just dropped off. No.
I'm sorry I don't have earbuds at the moment. I came running down to City Hall and said, oh my gosh, it's almost time. So tonight we'll be at the Riley Center for Jamestown Revival, and we're so excited to see them. They're just great country Americana, real music. You know, you're not going to hear any auto-tune or synthesizers. It's just, I think Jimmie would be proud of Jamestown Revival at the Riley Center, which was the Opera House in Jimmie's day. It's been restored to its former glory. And then on Saturday, we will be where I'm standing right now, which is City Hall lawn. And it's going to be a blast. We've sold a lot of tickets, and we're expecting a huge crowd, rain or shine. It can't rain all day. So if we get a little bit of rain, it's okay. We've got ponchos and plenty of restaurants that we can take refuge in, and I know they won't mind. So it'll be a good day.
Now, you said you've sold a lot of tickets. Are there any tickets left if somebody hasn't pulled the trigger yet, but they want to come?
Yeah, and if they want to get the $25 price, which can you believe that we have $25 tickets for an all-day festival, they'll want to go on JimmieRodgers.com and get tickets, and then tickets are $35 at the gate. And we still have some. We completely sold out of VIP pretty fast, so it's going to be a nice crowd, but we've got plenty of room.
You know, Alana, you're the executive director, so I feel you're the one to talk to about this. You do realize that's not the way it works. You can no longer go have an entire day of entertainment and fun for $25. How are you keeping the price there for the tickets? That's incredible. It's impressive.
We have amazing sponsors. Mitchell is already here. If you can see behind me, the blue beer trailer, Mitchell is our title sponsor. And, I mean, they help us make this possible every year. The whole town jumps in and just makes it work. So, for years, the community has made this happen.
Well, it's a fantastic event, and it literally is a piece of the state's history now. 73 years this has been happening, and people come from all over. It's not just people right there. It's people from all over the country that come there, isn't it?
Yes. Behind me. They all disappeared when they realized I was doing an interview, but there's a young man who came to help us staff the museum. And, you know, so many people want to volunteer for a music festival because they want to meet the bands. The people who are speaking my love language are the ones who say, you know, do you need help picking up trash? Do you need help staffing the museum so that people can come and learn about Jimmie Rodgers while they're in town? This young man came from Florida with his dad and his grandfather. And, I mean, I have been working him down when the museum's not open. So and there's hundreds of people who make it happen just like that every year.
Well, that's the thing. It does take a lot of manpower. Probably a little late in the process, but if you'd like to think about volunteering for next year, let Alana get through this weekend and then give her a call and go ahead and start talking about it right now, because I'm pretty sure you got it handled for this weekend, right?
Yeah, well, you know, when it gets late, if you see us struggling, you're welcome to jump in and help. But I think we have, gosh, our team of volunteers is really great. So I think we've got it covered.
Well, and there's a lot of work that has to be done to put these kind of things on. I said that jokingly, but that's kind of the rule of thumb with any kind of festival, especially something as big as this. This will end, and then you'll take about a day, and then you'll start planning next year's, right?
Yes. I'll start fundraising for next year. I figured out banks need you to start asking in like June or July because you kind of need to be first in line. So, I'm going to be hitting everybody up for money and volunteer help, and that's what makes this whole thing happen. That's why we have the longest running music festival in America. Is this community.
Now, if there are tickets left, VIP is sold out for this weekend for the festival. She could probably shake loose a couple of regular old tickets from somewhere for $25 a piece. If people want to scarf up some of those while they still are free to be bought, where do they go? How do they get their hands on the tickets?
JimmieRodgers.com is where you get your tickets. And if you're in Meridian, you can come by the museum. We'll sell you a paper ticket. And then tickets stay up will be $35. So you'll be able to get one.
That's even better to me. I'm old school. I'm sorry. Get the paper ticket, and then you've got a souvenir.
That's right.
Yeah. All you got to do is make your way to Meridian, and Alana has handled everything else. All you got to do is show up and be ready for a good time for the 73rd annual Jimmie Rodgers Music Festival at the Museum in Meridian. It's going to be a fantastic weekend, and I'm going to have Rhino make some calls to some people we know and see if we just can't get the rain rescheduled for like next weekend.
Thank you.
None of those people have any power over that, but we're going to make the call anyway because at least we'll feel like we tried. That's all we can do. Alana,
Look, I mean, we're saying our prayers. It's going to be all right.
You say that with a dark cloud over your head behind you, so I'm hoping extra hard for you right now, and hopefully everything will just go.
Tonight. It's tomorrow night. If we're indoors tonight, it's tomorrow night, so we're going to be good.
Perfect. Go ahead, get your tickets, make your way to Meridian for the 73rd Annual Jimmie Rodgers Music Festival. Alana, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. You got a lot of stuff to do, so we're going to let you get right back to it, okay?
Thank you so much. We appreciate you promoting America's longest-running music festival. Come see us.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody get over to Meridian to enjoy that. They're indoors tonight, you heard her say. Because we do have a lot of rain in the forecast. We talked about it. We mentioned it briefly earlier. After the week we've had, you would think we'd be done. Nah, not really. There's been massive lightning bolts popping down here in Summit for the past 2-3 hours, Rhino. Not raining particularly hard. It's not like a big stormy day. It's not like a big bad day, but still, there's activity. I'm getting tired of activity, Rhino. Not just the weather in general.
Well, there is some exciting activity taking place in the War Department today.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, baby. Go ahead.
With the first tranche being released of the UFO/UAP/Little Green Aliens files.
I'm waiting for a rerun of Mork and Mindy to show up in the files because they got too close. Yeah, they've released a whole bunch of stuff, and apparently they're going to update it every week.
That's what my understanding is, that this is just the first tranche. They're going case by case and declassifying and making available to the public what they can.
I'll go ahead and tell you my expectation. Trust me, there are people that have already gone through the entirety of what they released today. That's not going to take but a minute. Here at the first couple, there's not going to be a lot of earth-shaking stuff. If there's any earth-shaking stuff in there to be released, they're not going to release it up front. You save that towards the end, right, to keep people looking. And you don't want everybody then to start complaining if you released, a selfie video of an alien criticizing something going on Earth. How do you top that next week? Why is anybody going to care about it next week? So, because you've got to remember, this was all President Trump's idea, and at heart, President Trump is an entertainer and a showman. He understands all of this. He knows how it works. That's why, by the way, for the last segment of the hour, we saved Jay Lake from Carter's Jewelers. Got to get to the good stuff. And we're going to do that in the Element Well studios and visit with Jay for a minute right after this on Middays. Keep it here.
Pocketbook is empty. My heart is full of pain. I'm 1,000 miles away from home, waiting for a train.
Now back to Middays with Gerard here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Jay's got his dancing shoes on. I like it. Welcome back, Middays in the Element Well studios. And we're going to take a moment to visit with our buddy Jay Lake, the owner of Carter's Jewelers in Jackson. How you doing today, Jay?
Hey, great. How are you, Dave?
Doing fantastic. Hadn't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, we're celebrating Mother's Day over here at Carter Jewelers at downtown Jackson. One thing about my mom is I could always count on her to have my back, you know. And I love my mom's still here, and I love her. And we got lots of good presents for her. Tennis bracelets. You know what she loves is gold, solid gold. She don't like the gold plated, but we do have a lot. We got a lot of new gold plated items in, and it has a lifetime warranty. It looks like gold, and the price is good savings on those. And she also likes diamonds. My mom, big ones. And rings, mostly the rings, necklaces, and earrings she loves. And today, for Mother's Day, we blew up a bunch of balloons, and we put some discounts in there, extra 10, 20, 30% off. And when you pop a balloon after you pick out something, and so they're already on sale. We got a lot of overstock items here, real fine diamond jewelry, and marked down up to 70% off. And today and tomorrow, you get an additional 10 to 30% off those sale prices. And we have layaway. You can put on layaway, 10% down, pay on it for 12 months until Christmas or anniversary, birthday. So you can do that as well. And you can also get online, CarterDiamonds.com, and get pre-approved. You don't have to have good credit for that. It's a no credit check, so you can get pre-approved and find out what they'll give you. CarterDiamonds.com. Which is pretty popular. A lot of people don't have good credit, perfect credit or whatever. But and if you do have good credit, you can come in and we can get you approved for 18 months, interest free, sign and drive. You just take, no money down. You just take it with you. But yeah, we're just happy to be here for Mother's Day. Since 1849, we're the oldest business in Jackson.
Oh wow!
One of the oldest jewelry stores in the United States. I saw some of the churches are older than us, like the Presbyterian Church and, of course, the police station. But, yeah, we've been here a while. Pre-Civil War. We survived the Civil War. I heard the owner, he got all the jewelry out of the store before they came and was able to salvage everything. And they didn't burn down the store.
I want to go back. I want to, before we run out of time here, I want to emphasize something that you talked about there. And that's the fact that it doesn't matter how much money you got in your pocket. You have something for everybody's budget this weekend that they can get for their mom, don't you?
Yes, Dave. That's right. We have a whole slew of cases here for most everything in there is under $100. Fine sterling silver. And a lot of them have real diamonds in them. Some are CZs or other colored stones. We just got a brand new line in, beautiful sterling silver, colored stones in there. They're really nice. Rings, we got different size rings, earrings, and pendants, and a good bit of bracelets as well. The bracelets are a little bit more than $100, but yeah, we got and we gift wrap it for free. And front door parking downtown Jackson. It's corner High and State, and then we also have the one in Vicksburg, Pemberton Plaza, right next to Kroger. They're good people over there. They'll take care of you, Ginger and the crew. They got they have a lot of the same products we have over here, and just a little bit smaller store. But they still have the layaway. They have a jeweler. He can size your rings, fix your rings, set a diamond. Loose diamonds, you can pick out loose diamonds. We have a semi-mouse you can pick out. Real high quality, 14 karat platinum, 18 karat heavy-duty pieces. You can feel the difference in them. And if you need a diamond, I'll shop the world for the best quality, exactly what you want, the best deal I could find for you. And I can usually beat anybody's price on those diamonds.
That's what I've always loved about Carter's is you literally do shop the world and you bring in some of the best stones available out there. Every time I've been in there, I've been impressed with what you're able to pull off. I don't know how you do it, to be honest, but I think probably to be able to get to that level, you have to start before the Civil War, which you guys did. You got the experience, right?
Yeah, and Dad, he taught me how to negotiate and introduced me to all the people. He's been in the industry his whole life, and he started out in wholesale and moved up to retail, and he's kind of like an Asian, that they talk for about an hour before they even do business, have tea and everything. That's kind of, he just likes to talk to people and hang out and everything, and then make sure the price is right before he does anything.
Carter's Jewelers, the place to go for Mother's Day, which is Sunday, by the way. If you haven't done anything yet to show your mom how much you care, Jay Lake and Carter's Jewelers is going to help you out. We'll check back with you again next hour, Jay.
Okay, Dave. Thank you so much.
Most definitely. We've got news from Fox, news from SuperTalk Mississippi News, and then hour number 2 of Middays up next. Keep it here.
You and everyone we knew to believe. Sharing what was true, I said that's all day long.
Hour of Middays with Gerard Gibert is brought to you by the Mississippi Business Journal. Visit msbusinessjournal.com. Scott Coopwood, publisher and president.
Get ready to go beyond the headlines and join a meaningful conversation with people from around the state. You're listening to Middays with Gerard Gibert here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back. SuperTalk Mississippi Middays on a Friday morning. Live in the Element Wealth Studios. Are you thinking about or planning for retirement? Do you have a plan? Well, if not, probably need to work on that, and they're the folks that can help you out. You can go to myelementwealth.com, or you can call 601-957-6006. That's 6006. To let Element Wealth help you find your balance between income, growth, and guarantees. In the next segment, we've got Kelly Bennett joining us from SuperTalk Mississippi News. Been a little busy. That's an understatement of a lifetime. You mentioned it segment before last. I want to go back and talk about the release of the files by the Department of War, Rhino, because it's UFOs, and that's that's of interest to me. That's a topic of interest. Department of War, they have an official page up, and they have, by as best I can tell, looks like 161 new photos they've uploaded. Here's the thing that everybody forgets. People in the UFO community have known about this for a long time. But the thing is, we've got pictures in here from Apollo 12 and Apollo 19 taken on the surface of the moon where stuff was up over their head at the moon. Now, quite a few of those pictures, there was a lot of that. Quite a few of those pictures, they've been able to figure out what it was. It was a chunk of ice. It was a rock, whatever. The ones that they have on the site are listed, and they have an explanation that these have been cleared through. They have no explanation for these. They don't know what it was. There's one taken during Apollo 17. I think I said 19 a minute ago, 17. In 1972, where there were 3 lights in a triangle formation above the astronauts' heads, and they caught a picture of it. They don't know what that was. 1972 on the moon. Well, let's see. We can eliminate drones. We can eliminate swamp gas. It wasn't a street light. It wasn't a blimp. It wasn't a flock of geese. It wasn't any of the normal explanations that you get for these things. It's one of the reasons it's still unexplained, I'm assuming. So how do you explain it away when they've gone through and they've investigated all the other stuff And a lot of them they kicked out and said, oh, well, that's a piece of ice. Come on, you can tell that. But they got some. They have no idea what it is. How else would you explain it other than something weird going on, Rhino?
Yeah, unless the scientific world is willing to take a giant step back and admit that they don't know as much as they want to claim they do, then, there aren't any good explanations for some of them. Like the Apollo mission, I think it was on 17, where they were approaching the Earth again, and they were seeing what looked like fireworks outside their window. And they still haven't been able to figure out exactly what would have been exploding into geometric shapes in their window between the Earth and the Moon.
Well, and then you've got the from one of the Apollo missions, the radio traffic saying Santa Claus is here. That was their code word for UFO. We're being followed. There was a lot that we weren't told that the astronauts weren't allowed to talk about. But it does bring up an interesting question to me. Did any of that go on during Artemis 2 that just finished? They didn't land on the moon, but they went all the way up there and all the way back. And some of these sightings have been while humans were in transit towards the moon. Did they see anything? And will we ever be told? I mean, it's going to take forever for them to release it, I'm sure. But the astronauts have a long history of not mentioning it, not talking about it until way later. So I have to wonder if anything went on there.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll see those photos, because if you look at the quality of the pictures we have gotten from the official photography and from their personal phones they were allowed to take with them, that's some pretty high-quality shots of aspects of space that we haven't had that level of fidelity to look at.
Yeah, and, it took them a couple of weeks to release the whole big batch. Gee, I wonder why. But have you heard the thing about the religious influencers and pastors and the secret meeting that supposedly happened?
Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole long enough for it to start impacting my feed, and then I realized this is just insanity.
Yes. They say that they were called to a cabin in the woods in Tennessee, so we're already off to a great start. And all of these various religious leaders and pastors were called in so that a government representative, highly placed apparently, could give them a briefing, show them stuff, and explain, okay, you need to start getting ready for disclosure. Because it's people, the quote one of them gave was that they were told people are going to panic and they're going to leave Christianity when this comes out. You've got to be ready. You've got to start working on this now. I'm cynical. I'm cynical and Gen X, so you're climbing two hills with me. My first thought is, so how much money do you need? That's coming, right? That's got to be the whole basis for it, I would think. Did that meeting happen? I don't know.
It's actually funnier if you just assume it did happen, because then that means somebody with some funding decided it would be a fun prank to play, because my BS meter immediately started firing off when it's restricted to only Christian influencers. Yes. No other major religions were contacted, and the influencers and podcasters that were contacted don't have a whole lot of standing in Christianity itself. Like, they didn't contact anybody from the Catholic Church, no bishops, none of that. They didn't contact anybody from, say, the Southern Baptists. That's a pretty big denomination. Didn't contact the Methodists, didn't contact the Mormons, didn't contact anybody, except for this collection of podcasters and internet personalities.
Yeah, the influencers, the ones that could immediately run back. If this was such a secret meeting, why are they talking about it? Because that was the whole point. If it actually happened, let's get people buzzing about this and talking about this, and get their attention on this for a while. Once upon a time, and I think it was proven with, Orson Welles and War of the Worlds, people would panic. I don't think we're there anymore. I think everybody's been indoctrinated by the product of Hollywood for so long. We see an alien in the yard, we're just going to say, "What's up?" I mean, am I misreading it? I don't think the panic is going to happen.
I don't think the panic's going to happen, but I think it's for a different reason. I think you will have we have people so detached from reality that they just film people dying in accidents or in terroristic activities, and they feel like it's their personal mission to record and document it. So instead of when you see a little green man walk across your lawn, the first instinct is no longer, "Oh my gosh, that's weird." It's, "Oh my gosh, I can get so many invisible internet cool points if I get this on the TikTok."
Content. There's content in my yard. That's literally how they think, yeah. But on the bright side, that also means we will be notified immediately when the little green men start walking across the yard. There are far too many people out there like this group of internet pastors, I don't even know if we can call them pastors, religious influencers, we'll call them, who have put this story out, and it's gotten traction. All the major news agencies covered it, which should be a red flag about the whole thing to begin with, shouldn't it? When ABC runs forward and says, "Oh, we got to give this some column inches, we got to give this some airtime," there's red flag number 2 in a set. Collect them all. So you can go there. You can go and see it all for yourself on the website. I'm trying to remember the name of. I don't. It's at the Department of War is where they've got them all stored. But I think they've got like aliens.gov or alien.gov that redirects there. Just go search for nice distraction. Probably bring it right up.
www.war.gov/UFO.
Oh, there we go. That's easy. War.gov/UFO. I saw videos as a category, got excited, clicked on it. The latest thing there was a press conference with Hegseth on Tuesday. I've seen Hegseth. I want to see aliens. If it's possible to get there, we'll get there. Coming up next, our favorite humanoid life form on Earth, Kelly Bennett from SuperTalk News. Keep it here.
At Carter Jewelers.
You're listening to Middays with Gerard Gibert, here on SuperTalk, Mississippi.
Gotta warn you. We're back on Middays in the Element Wealth Studios. Kelly Bennett from SuperTalk Mississippi is here, and she is, in fact, going to do you like that. So just go ahead and brace up for it. Kelly, how you doing this morning?
I will. Well, I was thrilled to hear you call me one of your favorite humanoid, what was it? Humanoid life? What was the word? Dang it, I've already forgotten it. It was cute.
Humanoid beings.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Humanoid beings, yes.
I don't want to speak out of turn. You think assuming gender is wrong. Assuming planetary species is horrible, so I just said beings.
Most people have much more colorful names for people that are members of the press like myself, so that made me feel really good. You called me human. So we've got a lot going on. So let me start with a story that I believe my buddy in the news center, Caleb Sailors, is working on an update to right now, but this broke yesterday. Several schools in Mississippi, among roughly 9,000 educational institutions across the U.S., we're talking Harvard, MIT, I mean, some of the big guys affected by an extortion-centered cyber attack on the widely used tech platform Canvas. Thursday, a criminal hacker group called Shiny Hunters issued a message claiming that it had breached Canvas's parent company, Instructure. Schools traditionally use this to manage assignments, grading, and communication between students and educators. I wouldn't know. I don't think the computer was invented back when I went to school. But anyway, that's another story.
You had a slate and a piece of chalk, just like I did, right?
I did. You were carving into rocks. You know what I'm saying? The campus breach occurred on the first day of final exams at Mississippi State University. So students there were unable to complete their assignments. And this is the story that's breaking. Unfortunately, those students at Mississippi State are going to have to come back tomorrow and do their finals. Sorry, you got to go in on a Saturday, guys, but that's the price of being highly educated. Let me name some of the other institutions affected, along with Mississippi State. A lot. I mean, a ton of them in Mississippi. Delta State, USM, Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, the University of Mississippi Medical Center, East Mississippi Community College, Southwest Mississippi Community College, Mississippi University for Women, Mississippi College, Mississippi Valley State. The Mississippi School for Mathematics and Science was also affected. I mean, it's huge. It is a far-reaching impact that these students and faculty members are dealing with today. So it looks like maybe they're getting it under control. Fingers crossed. Caleb's working on that story. Just keep looking at supertalk.fm. I'm sure you'll be getting an update soon.
That's what I was about to ask you. It was my understanding. I think that it's starting to come back online, if not already back online for some people, but you lost a day. And during finals, you got no choice. You got to make it up.
That's true. And, we've had quite a few state leaders saying we really need to beef up our cybersecurity systems for state agencies and other institutions across the state. And here you've got proof that, although with it affecting 9,000 institutions across the country, I don't think this is going to be a Mississippi-centric problem. It's obviously something much bigger.
Yes, but we can come up with a Mississippi solution, and I have two words that would make this a lot better for everybody. I was going to suggest reeds and cuneiform on clay tablets, but I think I may have started a year or two before you. No, two words that I think would help mitigate the results of what has happened this week and will happen again. Backup plan. We keep putting all of our eggs in one basket. Everybody's on Canvas. That's great. Canvas gets taken over. Oops, now we got to reschedule exams and everything else. We need a plan B ready to go into effect, I think, as soon as something like this happens so we don't miss a step.
I think, unfortunately, some of these companies, like possibly is the situation here, they get so good at offering this service that, people just tend to think one directionally and they don't think about that backup. So, yeah, that's a good point. The other big story this week, of course, is the tornadoes on Wednesday. It's been a busy week dealing with that. The National Weather Service has confirmed several of the tornadoes that touched down in Mississippi on Wednesday. I do want to let everybody know these surveys are still ongoing. So what I'm about to tell you is not going to be the end of this story, I'm sure, because at one point, I think it was a Fox report I heard yesterday that said there were 14 total tornadoes. Unfortunately, as a news person, you just have to sit back and wait for the National Weather Service confirmation. That's the way it works. I don't report it until they tell me it's official. And so that has started happening. And people need to be aware, because of where these storms hit in central and southern and, of course, the western part of Mississippi, there are different National Weather Service locations that are responsible for these surveys. So some of it's coming out of the New Orleans National Weather Service office, and some of it's coming out of the Jackson National Weather Service office. But a tornado that started in East Franklin County lasted nearly 59 minutes with a path of over 35 miles. 59 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, wow. That tornado had peak winds of 137 miles per hour in EF3, and that is the tornado that's responsible for 12 of Mississippi's 17 injuries. So that was the big one. A tornado that struck Garden City has also been given an EF3 rating. Peak winds of 136 miles per hour, a path that extended over 30 miles. 3 tornadoes have been confirmed in Walthall County, and EF1 with peak winds of 90 miles per hour touched down in Smithburg in Pike County. That one traveled into Walthall County, almost 7 miles total. An EF0 tornado with 85 mile per hour winds started in the Enon community. That one was on the ground for about 4 miles. A third confirmed tornado in the county was an EF1 in Darbin, in the Darbin community. Winds of 80 miles per hour. That was on the ground for over 4 miles. And I do want to let people know, you're hearing stories from survivors. I've read some stuff that it just honestly brought tears to my eyes about people taking cover in their bathtubs, holding on to children as their homes were torn to splinters around them. There was one church that was meeting. I think they had just had a church meeting. I believe it was a church in Bogachita, if I'm not mistaken. Was it in Bogachita or Brookhaven?
I think that was actually in Purvis. The big
was that
tornado.
One in Purvis?
I think it was in Purvis. I'm not sure. I do know a lot of the church. I'm not sure. Double check me. You might be right. It might be Boca Chica, but I know a lot of the churches in Lincoln County have pulled together. Calvary Baptist Church, the wind hadn't died down, and they were already open and collecting supplies and handing it out. But I believe that was in Purvis, because Purvis got hit really hard over there south of Hattiesburg.
Yeah, and I apologize for not writing that down before I started telling the story, but apparently they had just had like a church kind of community meal. They started praying when the tornado started moving in, and then the roof came off while all that was going on in the middle of that. So what MEMA is doing, because it makes you want to go help, right? It makes you want to load up a truck and go help. MEMA is encouraging those who are moved to do so to avoid self-deploying. And Scott Simmons kind of explained why.
We already have groups like Cajun Navy and Mercy Chefs that are moving in, and we're asking that they call us here at MEMA so that we can help coordinate that volunteer response.
So if they can get you to check in through them, they can help ensure that the resources are used in the right places. Some of these places are harder to get to, so we may not even have heard of the damage that they've experienced at this point. They're still trying to get to them, so just keep that in mind. And as I speak of that disastrous day, there are residents in 36 counties that are still trying to recover from January's winter storm Fern. They can apply for disaster relief. And in the midst of all that, we're getting warned about scammers, people trying to get in there and make money off unsuspecting victims. According to MEMA, they're targeting people and they're charging like $150. And what they'll say it's for is to help you fill out any FEMA-related applications for assistance. Be on the lookout that they do not charge you to help, okay? And there's plenty of information up at supertalk.fm on where you can go to help, how to help. You can even do it online. You don't have to do it in person. Nobody has to help you. Just look that up at supertalk.fm, please, please.
When the bad weather comes, it brings wonderful amounts of rainfall, usually a drop in temperature, and the scum of the earth trying to cheat you out of your money at your weakest, lowest point. Remember that.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, yeah.
Plenty of good people out there going around helping everybody they can. There's no need to be shelling out any money right this exact second. Let's give it a minute until you're thinking straight. Kelly, thank you so much. Always enjoy having you in here with me.
Have a great weekend, y'all. Thank you.
You too. Stop letting big stories happen. It's getting exhausting. We'll continue in the Element Well studios right after.
From the Seabrook. Middays with Gerard Gibert.
Let's do this. On Super Talk, Mississippi. Let's go.
They're touring again and putting out a new album. Rush. The drummer, one of the greatest to ever do it. Everybody says Neil Peart. I believe he pronounced it Peart. Doesn't matter. The man was just insane to watch as a drummer and listen to. Well, he passed away, and rightfully so. They just kind of stopped. Rush did. And now they're back with a new drummer, new music, and they're going on tour again. That means one thing, Rhino. Bank accounts getting low. Right?
Yep.
That's what drives this kind of stuff all the time. Well, keep an eye out. I haven't seen anything, and I didn't expect it in this batch of UFO files that's just, stunning. Nothing that reaches out and grabs you. It looks very much like it was organized and chosen to be good Chapter 1 material. Ease you into it. Slide a couple of things in there like, wait, I didn't know that. But nothing earth-shattering. I suspect every week there'll be at least one thing in each release that'll be a little more, how should I say it, out there. And build it up because, again, this is President Trump doing it. He didn't get in the WWE Hall of Fame because of his wrestling ability. Well, he got in there because he was good buddies with Vince McMahon, but it's the whole entertainer mindset. This, I think, is going to build up to something. What that may be, I don't know. Are we going to have a press conference with Bleep Borp III from Planet Vorgon? No, probably not. But I think we're going to get something. I think a conversation is going to be started before this, all winds up.
One of the conversations that's already started is fascinating to me just because it's taking a bit of a different approach than the usual aliens, little green men, little gray aliens, flying saucers kind of tack. It's looking at the definition of intelligent life and looking at some of the footage and some of the descriptions from the Apollo missions and comparing it to other leaked, I don't think it's been officially released, but there is video of a NASA mission where some tether cut loose, and it's like 12 miles long, but as soon as it cut loose, it was swarmed by little glowing lights. And the conversation that's starting around that is, what if this isn't aliens the way Hollywood has shown aliens to be? What if this is more like the stuff you see at the bottom of the ocean, where it's life, it's alive, we just don't really know how it managed to evolve or survive in that environment, but it's there.
Yeah, and I think that's a viable path to go down in the discussion. Because you have to remember, Hollywood has been getting everybody ready for a long time, either knowingly or unknowingly. What's the best way to prepare someone for bad news? Getting them used to the idea that even worse news is fun. It's entertaining, it's enjoyable, and it always has a happy ending. So when the bad news comes along, well, yeah, but they're not going to put an alien baby in my stomach and have it bust out of my chest, so we're good. It's all about setting the comparison standards, I guess you would say. If that's what you're used to thinking of when you think of an alien, and instead it winds up being, like with the tether that broke loose, I remember when that happened, a fleet of space shad, it's not going to be quite as frightening at this point, right? Again, going back to Orson Welles, when War of the Worlds happened, radio drama, none of that had been done in terms of Hollywood, and as a result, some people freaked out. Quite a few people freaked out because they thought it was real. Now, I don't think it's going to be the same thing, but they're still, I think, going to follow a very carefully laid out plan about what they're going to introduce as they go. And that's going to allow things to start with these kind of conversations where everybody can talk back and forth about it and have their own opinion. and get a little more definite every time. Just a little bit. Just a little. But I think it'll happen. I got to do this one. I was saving it for later, but I got to do this one. Where is it? Where is it? Let me find my story, because this is a beaut. Over in Georgia. Have you heard about this? There's a town called Cohutta, Georgia. I'm sure they pronounce it differently. I don't care. Cohutta, Georgia. The mayor's wife in Cohutta, Georgia, the Mayor Ron Shinnick, his wife Pam had been working in the city clerk's office. Well, she left. She was she was let go. Several of the police officers said, "Hey, she's still got access to classified information, private information that's not available to the public on the citizens and their bills and everything else. We need to make sure that's removed." Well, the mayor's wife threw a fit, then the mayor threw a fit, and now the mayor has fired the entire police department, including the chief. Cleaned them out. They no longer have a police department. It was 10 people total. They're all gone. So now they're calling a special session for today of the town council to not only reinstate all 10 of the officers, including the chief, but to get rid of the mayor. So if you think you're having a drama-filled week, you don't know. Why do we seem to keep hearing more and more stories like this where people just kind of assume that they can do what they want? Either way, either side, however it shakes out. I'm in the mood to do this. We're going to do this.
Because an increasingly larger percentage of the politician population is made up of extreme narcissists.
Yes. Look at it like this, Rhino. You got to have a fair streak of narcissism to even think about running. That's a survival mechanism in Washington or anywhere else. You got to think you're the best person for the job, which is kind of at least a mild form of narcissism. I'm better than everybody else, right? I'm the best candidate. You got to vote for me. Come on, I'm going to win this. Why would they want anybody else? So it's kind of part of that mechanism in a lot of cases. Sometimes it's not bad. Others, well, yeah. I keep saying this. The silent generation's not going to last, well, not I can't even say forever, much longer, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We have people getting pushed around by their nursing aides in wheelchairs in the halls of Congress in Washington so they can get down there and be told how to cast their vote. Literally, that's happening. But once they're gone, I just feel like we've lost something in terms of native intelligence, maybe, would be the way to describe it. Street smarts, whatever. When it's directed, narcissism is incredibly powerful. The motivation that I'm the best person for the job. Everybody has that. I mean, technically, by the textbook, that would be defined as a form of narcissism. And everybody, well, I say everybody, most people have that to some extent. It's not a bad thing when it's directed, focused, and used for a goal. But when your goal is stupid, when your goal is self-serving, that's where it starts causing a problem. And this is a great example of it with this story over here. So they don't have a police department now in this town. The sheriff's department in the county has taken over law enforcement duties for the city. Until today's special meeting, I can't wait to see how this sorts out. I don't know what their municipal laws are, if the board can remove the mayor. But they want to talk about it, and they want to give it a shot because everybody apparently has had enough of everybody else, which might need to replace e pluribus unum on our coinage in America. That seems to be the national sentiment right now. When we come back here in the Element Wealth Studios on SuperTalk Mississippi, Jay Lake will join us again from Carter's Jewelers in downtown Jackson. Got a great view of downtown from right where they're at the top of the hill there, and they got great stuff to help you stay out of trouble this weekend for Mother's Day. We'll talk to them next on Middays. Keep it here.
A little farther down the line, far from Folsom Prison. That's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away.
Poly up a...
Are we going to do this? Middays with Gerard Gibert.
Keep rolling. 3, 2, 1.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Super Talk Mississippi. Talking about Carter Jewelers today. Of course, Sunday is Mother's Day, so the clock is ticking on you getting in trouble if you don't head over there and take care of business. And they can help you take care of business at Carter Jewelers with all sorts of stuff. Going to be joined by Jay Lake over at Carter Jewelers, who's going to tell us all about what they have going on. You heard him talking last hour probably. If not, you've heard him over the years talking. Carter, long-standing business. They've been in business, as he said, since before the Civil War. That's kind of impressive. There's nobody else I can think of. And I believe we got Jay now. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Going good. How are things going over there? I know when we were talking to you last hour, it sounded like you were busy in the background.
Yes, sir. We're open until 6 o'clock today for Mother's Day, and tomorrow we're going to be 10 to 6 tomorrow as well for the last day. That's the last day to get the additional 10 to 30% off the sale prices. All the sale prices, huge selection of gold chains, overstocked items, closeouts, hand-picked, heavy-duty. You can feel the difference with the quality, old world quality. These are the old gold prices on a lot of these pieces still, and we also have a lot of cases under $100. Seiko watches, lots of other gifts, crystal, lots of things for your mom. Like Dave, when I think back about my childhood, I have nothing but good memories, with my mom and everything. She was really, really good to us. I got 3 brothers, and I was the oldest. But Mom took care of us, and Mom loves jewelry, diamonds and gold. I gave her a gold plated one time, and she didn't like that as much. But she don't like the CZs either. She wants the real diamonds.
She wants the real thing. She
yes,
knows her worth. She knows she deserves the top quality, right?
That's right. And but yeah, we got layaway, 10% down. If you don't want to do something for Mother's Day, engagement rings. We've got probably the biggest selections, what I've heard, of engagement rings. You can come in, pick out your engagement ring. A lot of them are custom-made pieces and very beautiful. And you can also get pre-approved online, CarterDiamonds.com. Pre-approval, and you don't need good credit for that one. It's a no credit check. But if you do have good credit, you can come in. We can get you a loan for 18 months, interest free, no money down. It takes about 5-10 minutes on that. And we are downtown Jackson still since 1849, and in Vicksburg at the Pemberton Square next to Kroger. We're older than the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln was like a junior congressman back then.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've been here a long time. I think they used to have a train in front of the store back then. Things have changed, but everybody had the hat, the black hats. We got some pictures of it, the old cars and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
We were on Capitol. But yeah, we're the oldest business in Jackson and one of the oldest in the United States, jewelry stores. So 1849, we've been here, and we're the fourth generation. So Mr. Carter was the second. He was the second owner, and he bought it from a German fellow. I can't remember his name right now. Von Suter.
Oh, wow.
And then he sold it. Mr. Carter sold it to Mr. Letwinger, and then my father bought it from the Letwinger family in '97, I believe. So it's a good, huge store. We got about 7,000 square feet in here of fine jewelry. All the gold has a lifetime warranty on the earrings. Free gift wrap. We can size all the jewelry up to three sizes. We got a jeweler on hand, and we can set loose diamonds and semi-mount rings, and we can fix your gold chains or anything else, the prongs or broken. We got a watchmaker too. So if you need links taken out or watch repair, he stays real busy. Batteries, he does all that too.
All you got to do is stop by Carter Jewelers. You do it today before 6 or tomorrow before 6, basically. I think it's 10 to 6 tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes. 711 High Street, downtown Jackson, corner of High and State, and Pemberton Plaza in Vicksburg, right next to Kroger. And my phone number is 601-354-3549. And, today and tomorrow is the last day to get an additional up to 30% off the clearance prices. And the clearance prices, we've got a lot of them up 70% off and more on the clearance prices. So you can find some great deals in here.
That's a good deal. So we'll check back with you again next hour and find out what's going on. Jay,
okay, Dave.
Appreciate it. Jay Lake, the owner of Carter's Jewelers, and we will continue on Middays in the Element Well Studios right after news. Keep it here.
And now, another hour of the talk that keeps Mississippi talking. Middays with Gerard Gibert.
Begin your transition now.
Now on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back. Live in the Element Wealth Studios on Middays. Go to myelementwealth.com or call 601-957-6006. And Element Wealth can help you find your balance between income, growth, and guarantees. Going to be over in tornado country with Sports Talk next week on Tuesday, I believe. Going to be at Ag Up over there. But tornadoes came through here. You heard Kelly played it. The advice, if you want to help anybody in the affected area, which is basically a belt across Mississippi, starting over around the Butte area, going all the way over to Lamar County and in that area. I don't know if you saw this, Rhino. ABC News sent a camera crew and a reporter to Purvis, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how long it took them to figure out how to get there. I love Purvis, great little town. But they got their moment in the spotlight. I wish they would occasionally send somebody when, things haven't literally fallen apart to some of the smaller places in Mississippi, but that's not going to happen because what's the rule in journalism? If it bleeds, it leads. Got to have disaster, catastrophe, horrible things, or they're not interested. It's the way it always works. It kind of goes along with something I want to talk about here. This week, down here in Pike County where I'm at, city of Macomb, we have had 2 shootings, very serious injuries. Both of them appeared to be interpersonal scuffles. One of them was in the Lowe's parking lot in the middle of the day. I've heard tell that was like a relationship issue. But there is video online showing the guy that got shot lying on the parking lot, bleeding, with his assault rifle lying on the ground next to him where he dropped it. His two stylish black slides flew off his feet when he got shot and fell down. They're laying all askew everywhere. And I talked about this earlier this week on the Pike County show, but I think this is relevant for everyone. When violence happens, and it's happening everywhere, when crime is a problem, which it is everywhere, what's the initial reaction of people to solve it? What's the initial thing they say, Rhino? Do you know?
Well, nowadays, somebody's got to do something about it.
Well, that's true. That's true. Reminds me of the old family circus. Somebody spilled my milk on the floor, and there's a little ghost outlined wearing a shirt that says somebody on it. The mysterious somebody. The one I hear most often is, lock them up. We got to lock them up. Slightly less frequently is, well, we're locking them up. Yeah, that's fine. You've proven that, but it's the prosecutors and the judges. They're not putting them away. We got to do that. We have bigger problems than that. Let me explain what I mean. In both of these cases, and a lot of other cases, we automatically, our mind turns to, well, it's drugs. Well, it's gang activity, gang-related. It's this or that. No, we have raised an entire generation of human beings who do not know how to handle having an emotion. And their first reaction is the most extreme reaction. I mean, who goes to Lowe's with their AK? I think actually it was an AR, but who goes to Lowe's and has it there to pull out while the other person is in Lowe's armed? That in itself, not bad. But you only use it if you need it, right? It's for self-defense. It's not for, I found out that you've been seeing my girl, bang, 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 bang. I mentioned earlier with Kelly that I'm, Gen X, talk about it all the time. Plenty of fights. Gen X had nothing but fights, it seems like, most days. But you didn't hear about a lot of people just pulling a gun and shooting somebody because they were upset. We keep seeing that. We've got to get back to teaching the kids and teaching people how to process their emotions, which sounds really woo-woo, but that's exactly what's going on here. They don't know what to do. They have something that goes wrong. They have a problem. They have an issue. They have something that's really bothering them or it's hurtful. Well, time to shoot somebody. That's the go-to reaction. And I know we're going to have some people that are going to say, well, we just have to teach them proper gun safety. No, that's attacking the wrong problem. That's attacking the wrong end of the problem. What's your thoughts on it, Rhino? I'm curious what you think about this.
I think it is not really an easily solved problem without trampling on certain rights.
Yeah.
Simply because the rights we have established as being granted to us by our Creator are only as good as society can make them. And if we as a society continue to allow more and more of society to gain some sort of perverted pleasure in being as stupid as humanly possible, then our rights are endangered not only from government overreach in trying to solve problems, but in danger because society itself will not see the value of those rights when compared to their own safety.
And the problem is, And this is not going to be a surprise when I say this. It's not the gun's fault. Taking away the guns is not the problem. We just had a case this week. There were 6 people injured in a stabbing attack at a high school. I think that was in Oklahoma. The weapon is not the issue. Never has been, never will be. Regulating the behavior. And like you said, it's not an easy problem to solve, especially when you have a whole big bunch of parents raising kids. I'm sorry, they don't care. It's kind of obvious. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. Well, something different than what you did, because that didn't work. Because we have an entire generation, and it's not limited to that generation. I love how we have to put that disclaimer on everything, because there's always somebody that's going to raise a finger and go, well, actually, no, yeah, we're aware of that. But I would say the majority are of a younger generation, say about 16, 17, up to through their 20s, that we see in the arrest reports when things like this happen. I feel like something broke down. And yes, part of the problem, I think, is lack of fathers in the home. That's been discussed to death. But your daddy is the one that would snatch a knot in your head when you got out of line. I also maintain that may not be as big a problem as you think, depending on who the daddy was. If daddy wasn't in the house because he was in Parchman, well, he might not have been teaching the right things if he had been there. This is a very complicated thing to deal with, despite being, I feel, a fairly simple to identify problem. And that's the fact that we have an entire generation, couple of generations of people who wear their heart on their sleeve. They put every single aspect of their life online on social media. I'm pretty sure that's contributed to this mindset to a certain extent. And we wind up here. You're looking at gardenias in the garden center and gunfire erupts. Kind of reaching a ridiculous point. And it's everywhere. And I'm not sure what it's going to take to change that. I'm not sure at this point that it's changeable. Like Rhino said, Rhino, you're not going to fix this without getting a couple of wrinkles in the Constitution, I think.
And that doesn't have to be a wrinkle in the Second Amendment that infringes on your right to defend yourself from any aggressor or tyrannical government. It can be something like recognizing that portions of the population need to be in prison and they don't need to be catered to the way they have been. Statistically, you can cut a lot of violence out of society if you start locking up the right people. It just seems like we have about half of the population willing to go to bat for the wrong people just because they're on their team politically.
And new jails to have enough space to do that to any great effective level. Taxes.
At Carter Jewelers,
attention, adoring fans! It's time for
Middays with Gerard Gibert on SuperTalk Mississippi.
For all the fish, so sad that it should come to this. We try to warn you all, but oh dear, you may not share our intellect, which might explain your disrespect for all the natural wonders that grow around you. So long and thanks for all the fish.
Has anybody checked? Have the Dolphins left already? Welcome back. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Go read it. You'll get everything that just happened there. mentioned right before the break taxes. I've seen several scattered about the state where somebody, some county or some municipality has floated a bond issuance idea to build a new jail facility. They always fail because it's going to raise your taxes to pay for it. Everybody wants everybody put in jail that messes up, but nobody wants to pay to have some place to put them. So what's the solution? What do? We have the will, but we don't have the conviction to, well, just pardon the pun there, to carry through with it. Because that's part of the reason that sentencing guidelines came about. Part of it was because you had liberals that got in there and said, oh, you got to care about them. As I told Rhino during the break, the God-given rights that they listed when they formed this country were what? The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Pursuit of happiness, you're not guaranteed to be happy, but at least you can try. Nobody can stop you from that. Liberty, they can't lock you in the basement. Tell you to put the lotion on your skin. It's not going to work. And life. If you take or greatly alter somebody's life, you have violated a God-given right. What about the rest of your rights at that point? We need to, Rhino said this in the last segment. I think he was exactly right. We need to quit focusing quite so much on people who have been convicted of taking a life or altering or greatly injuring someone for whatever reason. If they're convicted that they broke the law when they did it, go back to my dad's old theory. After his career in law enforcement, he pushed for this hard for a while, to go the Sheriff Joe Aparo route and just put up tent cities. Yeah, you have to raise the taxes to build a jail. Tents are $40 at Walmart. You know, you can do that out of petty cash probably. Oh, but you can't do that. They may be hot and they may be sweaty and it's just not humane conditions. You know what else isn't humane? A box 6 feet under. Why do they deserve all due consideration? Am I totally off base, Rhino? I feel like I'm just veering off into jerk territory here.
No, the sad thing is we need to have a bit more of a jerk mentality in society if it's going to ever be corrected in the right direction. And part of that is going to come with the very uncomfortable truth that a portion of society does not have the cognitive ability to understand actions have consequences, to understand that, yes, 15 minutes from now may be the future, but that future is going to come. And whatever you do between now and then can have an impact on whether or not you are still breathing at the 15-minute mark. We have too many bleeding heart blowhards that are more concerned about the civil rights of an offender that's been arrested for violent crimes 29 times. Because, well, they have unmet mental health needs or they're economically disadvantaged or blah, 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 blah. No, they have a miswire in their brain. Either it's because they can't cognitively understand what they're doing is wrong or they just don't care. But either way, that person should not be in society.
A lot of the people, not all of them, by far, there are no absolutes. We're not Sith here. Not today. I got that scheduled for tomorrow. A big chunk of the people that are committing these acts and just shooting people just to shoot them, I'm upset, so I'm going to shoot you. They never advanced past baby stage in one very important way that you just mentioned. You know how when you've got a baby and they have no sense of object permanence, which kind of goes along with what you were saying, you can play peekaboo all afternoon and they will giggle themselves silly every time you pull your hands away and, oh my gosh, it's Dad again. I didn't see that coming. It's endlessly entertaining. That's because they can't see 5 seconds into the future. We got a lot of people that are grown that still have that problem. Exactly what you said. We have got to get away. I keep mentioning it. The guy, Gad Saad, came up with the term suicidal empathy. We're going to care about everybody no matter how many of us it kills. There's a limit there. And if you don't believe it, where did eye for an eye come from? Where did that phrase come from? And what's amazing to me is talking about Texas got a lot of attention when they put in their fast lane to the death penalty, which has had a lot of traffic backed up lately, but their fast lane to the death penalty, and they said in Texas, when you kill somebody, we're going to kill you back. And everybody unloaded on them. What a horrible idea. What about the poor victim? I don't care about the guy that did it, that created a victim. But we consider the offender to be the victim in a lot of cases, and we have that kind of institutionalized now at this point in the system. That's what we've got to root out and change. Because until we do, none of this is going to change. It's just going to continue to get worse and worse until it's not going to have a happy ending. I'll put it like that. So we better start working on that now. The best time to start working on that is about 20 years ago. Second best time now. We've got to get that done and back out some of the overprotectiveness for the offenders in the system. Focus should be on the victims and their families. Give them some closure. Give them some justice. Give them some peace of mind. I'll tell you another one. Since I'm making friends today, Rhino, I am getting scratched off a Christmas card list with every word I say, and that's okay. Tell you another one. We need, in some form or fashion, we need insane asylums back.
You won't hear an argument out of me.
The guy up in the Northeast who stabbed the little blonde Ukrainian girl, Erna, in the neck and killed her just because she was sitting there. He has finally now, after I think he had like 28, 29, 30 different previous offenses, they have now finally decided he's not mentally competent to stand trial. Fine. That is a valid judgment to make. You don't then just put him back out on the street. If he's not mentally competent to stand trial, he's not mentally competent to mix with other human beings. We have gone from trying to eliminate the threat to trying to make sure everybody feels good about what we do. What we need is some backbone back. Are we going to get it? It's an uphill battle.
I think the way you start that ball rolling downhill is you start with something a little more palatable. And I think you start with scaling back the size of federal law. Because I forget where he's from, he's got a crazy name, but he wrote a whole book about it, about how the average American commits 3 felonies per day on average without ever realizing it.
Yes.
If we are that overregulated, if we are that overburdened by the federal government that the average American, just going about their average rat killing, commits 3 felonies a day, maybe we got too many felonies on the books. Maybe we should take some of those off and start actually punishing those that break real laws.
By the way, Pete is on line 2 for you. You were talking about killing rats. They'd like to have a word. Got way too much performative empathy for cash, if you ask me. We continue the last half hour
from thesebro.com.
And now, the talk that keeps Mississippi talking.
Now, on to the real part.
Dynamite! On Super Talk Mississippi.
Absolutely perfect bumper to come into this segment. Welcome back. Middays live in the Element Wealth studios. MyElementWealth.com, 601-957-6006 to find out how they can help you with everything, basically, when it comes to your business, anything. Get a hold of them. You will not regret it. Trust me. You found the guy's name, didn't you?
Yeah, the author I was talking about is Harvey Silverglate. He's a Boston civil liberties attorney. He wrote the book titled 3 Felonies a Day, How the Feds Target the Innocent, back in 2009.
Harvey Silverglate. Don't you know he was popular in junior high with that name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They had a million different variations for it. But sometimes, I will say, there are some crimes that are so impressive we almost need to cut them a break. Get your map out and your push pins and your yarn. We got to draw some lines across America for this one here, okay? It all comes back to a guy named Albert Bazar from Angie, Louisiana, right down here in my neck of the woods in Washington Parish, Louisiana. Well, a federal judge in Phoenix has ordered that he be arrested because, let me see if I can get this mapped out appropriately. The court alleges that Albert Bazar left Angie, Louisiana, went to Florida, poached 1,700 loggerhead musk turtles, 100 stripe-necked musk turtles, and 15 striped mud turtles, the rare ones, from their native habitats from 2022 to 2023. Florida law protects fresh and marine turtle species from unregulated harvest. Now, the indictment says that he left Angie, went to Florida, got these turtles, then sent them to a buddy in San Francisco, who then sent them to Taiwan, and they made $550,000 selling them as pets. Gotta admire the work ethic, if nothing else. He's charged with creating a declaration of captive bred wildlife that falsely stated that the turtles were bred in Alabama and Georgia. So we're dealing with Arizona, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and California and Taiwan in this one thing. Severe violations of the Lacey Act in the middle of this. You can't transport across state lines and whatnot. And they're going after this guy pretty hard. But I'm like, well, I don't know. We might need to deduct some points because, turtles, not known for being good runners, even though they can move faster than you think. Oh, in the water, they're zippy. But I've never went fishing and didn't either see a turtle that just floated up to the boat or you hooked one. It's not what you were trying to catch. I would suspect it wouldn't be that difficult, maybe, to run up that number. But aside from that, as schemes go, this is somewhat impressive to me.
I just wonder what schemes they've been concocting since December 2023, because all this took place between January 22 and December of 23.
Yeah, 2 years.
If they're that enterprising, what have they been up to in the meantime?
Now, to be fair, they each got, $250,000 off of this out of 2 years. That's pretty good pay. But I'm with you. They had that kind of success, and at the end of 2023, when they stopped this one, well, they were getting away scot-free. They didn't know they were being investigated. Nothing was wrong. Everything's going great. We did it. So I'm with you. What next? And how complicated was the next one? That's what I'm looking for out of this story. The Paul Harveyization of it. How do you come up with this idea? You just got a buddy in San Francisco, and he says, hey, I got a guy in Taiwan wants a turtle.
From my understanding, that's pretty much exactly how it went. The guy in San Francisco was the mastermind funding the entire endeavor.
Yeah, he paid Bazaar's expenses to go back and forth from Angie, Louisiana, and Washington Parish, which borders Mississippi, all the way over to Florida to get a bunch of their turtles and then ship them to San Francisco to be shipped to Taiwan after telling the Florida game and fish people that they raised them. They were turtle farm raised in Alabama and Georgia. That's a heck of a plan. And
now I'm wondering how they got connected.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't think the illegal turtle poacher and the guy with international pet turtle connections would be at the same bar at the same time. How did they meet? Oh, I know how. You know how too. Online. Probably on Facebook. This sounds like a Facebook operation if ever I've heard one. Somebody posted on Facebook Marketplace that he was looking for a pet turtle for a friend, and this guy said, I can get you a pet turtle. It's no problem. Now, here's my question. I don't know anything about the conspirator out in San Francisco. Was this all they did for those 2 years? If not, did they have regular jobs, and how much did they make? And was this amount of planning and effort and law-breaking worth it? I mean, technically they did pick up a second job. They were Uber for stolen turtles, but it just a little bit. Right now I'm lazy. I hear this, and all I hear is, that's a lot of work. That's going to take time. And concentration that I don't think I have anymore at this point. My concentration was poached and sold as a pet in Kuwait, probably. So you got that going on. The redistricting story continues. I got to get this in because do you know the origin of the word gerrymander that we use?
Vaguely, yeah.
There was a governor in Massachusetts back in 1812. We had a war then. Governor Eldridge Gerry. He drew a map for their congressional districts in Massachusetts, and one of them was basically in the shape of a deformed C, enormous, covered the entire state to draw the lines the way he wanted them to be. Well, somebody in the press commented that it looked like a salamander, so Governor Gerry's district that kind of vaguely resembled a salamander, they started putting cartoons up about it and everything in the paper, led to that district being called the gerrymander. And it stuck. And I guarantee you 90% of the people that use that word don't know where it came from. Tell you where it came from. An integral part of politics, society, that's in the news every day right now. Yeah. Smart aleck in the media. It's just amazing to me. We've got a lot of words like that came from fairly ridiculous beginnings. And now we're stuck with them. That's okay. Did you see Mark Hamill's post on Blue Sky? Did you see about that?
I didn't see it on Blue Sky because I'm not on Blue Sky, but I've seen reported on it, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it in other places. He posted an AI-generated picture of Donald Trump in his grave. And then he says, "Oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it in the way that, where I want him to die." Really? How did you mean that? How else would you mean that? You know, he was back on Monday, had a photo op and visiting with former President Obama at Obama's library. During that speech, during that appearance, Obama spoke and said that we had to understand that violence against any elected official is not a good idea. We have to stay away from that. That's not who we are. What are the odds that after the mics were off and it was just the two of them, he said, now, here's what I want you to do. You know how to make pictures with AI? Let's get him. And now he's catching blowback. The hypocrisy we know about. The evil-mindedness we know about. And it's not surprising from Luke Hamill, his first big starring role, he kissed his sister. So we know where he's at in general. But this is the source of a lot of our problems in a lot of different areas in America. We got to get these people under control, including, apparently, Mark Hamill. Coming up next, one final visit with Jay Lake over at Carter's Jewelers. We'll do that next in the Element Wealth Studios on Middays.
What that means.
Middays with Gerard Gibert.
We'll do it live
on SuperTalk Mississippi.
It's Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's Friday, I'm having control. Forget the working blues and let the good time roll.
Friday indeed, but a very special Friday. It's the Friday before Mother's Day this Sunday, but don't worry if you're panicking because this is the first time you've thought about it. We got the guy here that can help you out. Jay Lake, the owner of Carter's Jewelers, and you guys, we talked about the price points. We're going to talk about it again, but there's another thing. You have something to fit every mother, whatever her taste is, whatever her style is. If they're like your mom and they really want the rich, fancy stuff, you got it. If they have a different aesthetic, you've got that for them too, right?
Oh, yeah. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases, and almost everything in there is going to be under $100 or not much more if it is, you know. So huge selection, sterling silver. Even I think we have some stainless steel for men's crosses, bracelets, jewelry. But yeah, we do. We have it all. We got Seiko watches. You know, those are pretty reasonable priced, brand new watches, and we got wedding bands for men under $100, and pearl earrings under $100, real pearl earrings in sterling silver, pearl necklaces. We had some of those for under $100. I think we still do, and the bracelets. But yeah, earrings. We have lots of gold earrings, and that with a lifetime warranty. So if they get dented or whatever, with the manufacturer, it's their warranty. You mail it back to them, and they'll give you a whole brand new piece for the just the shipping. You pay the shipping.
Well, you know, I've been in there before, Jay, and I've watched it work with your staff and with yourself as well. If there's somebody that hasn't gotten mom or their wife, the mother of their children, anything yet, and they have no idea what to do, no idea what to get them, you can help them through that process. They just need to stop by, and before you know it, they're going to walk out with exactly what they didn't realize they needed, right?
That's right, and it's a thought that counts. I mean, I had a lady the other day, she was shopping for her mother-in-law. I was like, I don't think she's going to like that, this piece here. She's like, I'll take it. I was like, what? All right, I'll gift wrap it for you, man. And
would you like the tape to be crooked on the package while I'm wrapping it? It's extra service for you, free of charge.
But yeah, but we also have a lot of engagement rings, tennis bracelets, necklaces, and we specialize in diamonds, and lots of diamond stud earrings. Those are real popular. But yeah, that's right. We can get anything for your mom. And just thinking about her, just a jewelry for any woman is going to be really positive, and it's thoughtful.
And, of course, again, they've also got the perfect item that your mother-in-law will hate. So you can check everything off the list at one time. But in all seriousness, you guys have an incredible selection, incredible prices. And if somebody walks in and says, I got to get my mom something, I don't know what, you're going to start asking them questions. It's simple, easy questions. And about 3 or 4 questions in, you're going to know exactly which case to take them to. And they're going to go, yeah, that looks like her. And then
That's right.
Your weekend and possibly your entire year is saved if you let Jay and the folks at Carter Jewelers help you out.
And
I'm talking
today,
you up, Jay.
The extra discount today, too, up to 30% off the sale prices.
Today and tomorrow, right?
Today and tomorrow, yeah. And you can get pre-approved online, carterdiamonds.com. No credit needed. And if you have good credit, we can get you 18 months interest-free, no money down. Just sign your name and take off with it. And layaway, we got layaway for 10% down, 12 months, Christmas, birthday, anniversary. We got all that here. And front door parking and gift wrap.
How do they find you?
711 High Street, downtown Jackson, corner of High and State, and in Pemberton and Square in Vicksburg, right next to the Kroger in Vicksburg. And our phone number is 601-354-3549. And we've been here since 1849, oldest business in Jackson, Mississippi, and one of the oldest jewelry stores in the nation. Like I said earlier, older than the Civil War and fourth generation. We've been doing it for a while. We got a full-time jeweler and a full-time watchmaker. So if we can size your ring, probably not before Mother's Day, but it takes about a week. We're pretty fast on the sizing, and we can size your watch as well, or fix them. Take the links out, batteries, set the diamonds in there, fix the prongs, buff it out. We'll take good care of you, Dave.
Well, put it like this. Most of us, myself included, spent our teenage years upsetting our mother on a daily basis. Let's not do it again this weekend. Let's go in the opposite direction. Jay Lake and the folks at Carter Jewelers can help you do that. I know you're busy and you got to get back to blowing up balloons and stuffing discounts in them because the rush is coming, my friend. So you get to it. Always enjoy talking to you, Jay.
Okay, Dave. Well, happy Mother's Day.
I guess it doesn't apply to me. Well, except that I have a mother. That does apply. But he's right, and happy Mother's Day to him as well. You have a wonderful weekend. Keep an eye on the weather just to be on the safe side this weekend. We'll see you again soon.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.